Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world, let's talk some boxing. So I've heard some YouTube channels now talking about how Adrien Broner, people expect too much of him. He's really a B-level, C-level fighter. To which I just don't understand the logic. They're saying his skill sets are such that he's a B-level, C-level fighter. I don't understand that. I think a lot of people, because they try to compare him to Floyd Mayweather Jr., and the hype that was around Adrien Broner, are now going the opposite way, and because he's got 2 losses, they're saying these kinds of derogatory things about him. But in no way, shape, or form is Adrien Broner a B-level or a C-level fighter. If you said B-plus level, maybe I'd go with that. Anything from B-plus and upwards, Adrien Broner is, and I'll show you why. So let's just start off with Adrien Broner's first really good competition, which was Daniel Ponce de Leon. Now, Daniel Ponce de Leon, he was a long-reigning super bantamweight champion. Okay, he became a super bantamweight champion against Anu Sorn Yotjan. Okay, an undefeated fighter. We fought him for the vacant WBO super bantamweight title, and then 7 fights later, he lost to Juan Manuel Lopez. Juan Manuel Lopez is a legendary fighter, and one of the better super bantamweights. He moves up to featherweight. He has a number of featherweight fights, and he moves up to super featherweight, faces Adrien Broner, gives him a pretty tough fight, and then he goes down to featherweight again. He faces Yuriorkis Gamboa, where because they had an accidental head clash, he actually loses on the judges' scorecards. But he was giving Yuriorkis Gamboa a tough fight, as well as Adrien Broner. Okay? That's not enough. He goes on to fight at featherweight and super featherweight and wins a minor world titles, and then he goes on to face Johnny Gonzalez for the world featherweight title, and he beats him. Okay, he beats him, and then he goes on to lose to Abner Mares. This is the guy, Daniel Ponce de Leon, who Adrien Broner faced. Now, is Daniel Ponce de Leon a C-level fighter? Absolutely not. If you're saying that Daniel Ponce de Leon is a C-level fighter, then you must say that guys like Marcus Maidana, Lucas Matisse, they're all C-level fighters. And that's not true. Now, for those people who talk about Arturo Gatti being a C-level fighter, later on in his career, Arturo Gatti definitely was a C-level fighter. But before that, early in his career, he was about B. And Daniel Ponce de Leon, you have to give him the B grading, because not only was he world champion twice, but he was also a long-reigning world champion, unlike Arturo Gatti. Now, the other thing about it is that when you talk about Daniel Ponce de Leon, he was beaten by Adrien Broner, and he was beaten by Yuriorkis Gamboa. Now tell me, is Yuriorkis Gamboa a B-level fighter? Absolutely not. He's an A-level fighter. Now, is Adrien Broner a B-level fighter? Absolutely not. If you say he's B+, then that's right, because to get over Daniel Ponce de Leon, you at least have to be above a B rating, because Daniel Ponce de Leon is a B-level fighter. Let's look at some more. If that's not enough, if you look at the next opponent that Adrien Broner faced was Antonio DeMarco. Now remember, this is at lightweight, which is Antonio DeMarco's weight class. Okay? Now Antonio DeMarco, believe it or not, he first faced Edwin Valero. He took him to 9 rounds. It was a good competitive fight. Okay? Valero beat him. Then he faced Jorge Linares. Jorge Linares for the vacant WBC World Lightweight title. You know Jorge Linares, the man at lightweight right now. Okay? Knocked him out in the 11th round. Okay? Now you can't knock out Jorge Linares and be a C-level fighter. It's not happening. Okay? Linares is a very good, all-rounded, quality fighter. Okay? He's obviously above B-level now. Back then, maybe he was B+, B-level fighter. Now, here's the joke about the whole thing. Adrien Broner basically stops this dude. Okay? He stops Antonio DeMarco. Now, you can't just go out there and just stop a guy who's a B+ level fighter just like that, or a B-level fighter, whichever one you want to pick. The point is, Antonio DeMarco became world champion, and he was world champion against Jorge Linares, the current lightweight world champion, And then he defended his title successfully twice, and then he faced Adrien Broner and he lost. Okay? Let's talk about another noteworthy name. Now, after he faced Antonio DeMarco, he had one fight again at lightweight, and then he jumps up two weight classes, and he faces Paulie Malignaggi. Anybody telling me that Paulie Malignaggi is just a B-level fighter, they're crazy. Because Paulie Malignaggi, just based on his KO ratio here, he gotta have some kind of skills to be able to win fights. And Paulie Malignaggi didn't just win fights. Let me show you something about Paulie Malignaggi. First of all, after he lost to Miguel Cotto, and he was not stopped by Miguel Cotto, okay? After he lost to Miguel Cotto, he went on to become the IBF super lightweight champion until he faced Ricky Hatton, okay? And Ricky Hatton was able to get the stoppage on him in the 11th round, okay? After losing to Ricky Hatton, he'd go on to beat Juan Diaz after Juan Diaz beat him, okay? And after that, he loses to Amir Khan. Look at the names he's being beaten by. These are A-level fighters. Okay, he beat one A-level fighter in Juan Diaz. Okay, he lost to another A-level fighter in Ricky Hatton when Ricky Hatton was really in this, rocking and rolling. And Floyd was the only guy that stopped him. Okay, he then lost to Miguel Cotto, was another A-level fighter. Okay. Now, if you look at the next time he wins a world championship, he jumps up another weight class, which is welterweight, and beats Vyacheslav Senchenko, who just beat Ricky Hatton, okay, the guy that beat him. He beats Vyacheslav Senchenko by stopping him in the 9th round. Goes down to Senchenko's territory in the Ukraine where he knows he can't get a decision shot, and beats this dude. This guy doesn't have no punching power. So that alone should tell you, an undefeated fighter, okay? He goes on to beat Pablo Cesar Cano, faces Adrien Broner, who has jumped up 2 weight classes to face him, okay? He then comes off of that loss, beats Zab Judah, and then he gets annihilated after that, okay? But the point is, Paulie Malignaggi is no B-level fighter. You say B-plus level and above, I'll agree with you. Now, you can say dispute that Adrien Broner didn't beat him. You can dispute that. But the point is, the minimum Adrien Broner is B-plus level and above. Because you can't beat a fighter like Paulie Malignaggi just by chance. The guys who beat Paulie Malignaggi are all A-level fighters. Marcos Maidana. Before you go saying, oh, Adrien Broner, Marcos Maidana destroyed Adrien Broner to get the title. Well, Marcos Maidana is just a club fighter. Well, that club fighter gave Floyd Mayweather a tough fight in his first fight, okay, with him. All right? So, before you say anything else, you know Floyd Mayweather, he's an excellent boxer, okay? Marcos Maidana gave Floyd Mayweather a tough fight. Adrien Broner, he gave Adrien Broner a tough fight. Marcos Maidana being much bigger. Is Marcos Maidana a C-level fighter? Hell no. Is he B-level? Well, I think he was B-plus level when he beat Adrien Broner because Marcos Maidana was using his jab properly, he was using range properly, he was putting his combinations together, he was using his defense properly, he was using his jab and spacing properly. So, if I were to tell you, he's at least B-plus level when he faced Adrien Broner. When he faced Floyd Mayweather, he was B-plus level, okay? And he gave Floyd a tough time. Now, the point is, Adrien Broner was beaten by a bigger guy, Marcos Maidana, much bigger than him, okay? But here's my point. He put on a hell of a fight, hurt Marcos Maidana in that fight, backed up Marcos Maidana, okay? Yeah, he got caught with shots. Yeah, he didn't adjust to certain punches. But he's not Floyd Mayweather, okay? And Floyd Mayweather had a hard time with Marcos Maidana as well. Let's move on. Sean Porter. Now, for those people who think Sean Porter is anything less than elite, they crazy, alright? Sean Porter has been beaten by Kell Brook. He's a very quality fighter, A-level fighter, sure. But he beat Adrien Broner. You know, Broner dropped him. Porter had sheer aggression. Lost to Keith Thurman. Now, anyone who says Keith Thurman's not A-level, I don't know what's wrong with them, okay? That's like Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is A-level, okay? Adrien Broner lost to Sean Porter, who is definitely either B to B plus level. And it's not just based on Sean Porter's skills, because he's a swarmer, pretty much. And a counter punching kind of swarmer with certain skill sets. But it's also because Sean Porter was bigger and stronger than him on that night. He faded coming down to the last couple of rounds, but he was still strong enough to maintain it. Okay? Adrien Broner has skills, but he wasn't able to use his skills like he wanted to in that fight. Alright? Sean Porter demolished Paulie Malignaggi, who's a B plus level fighter. That should tell you everything you need to know. He was IBF welterweight world champion. He beat Devin Alexander, who's a B plus level fighter. Okay. Lost to Kell Brook. Beat Julio Diaz convincingly the second time around. These are just some of the names he beat. So if you think that Adrien Broner is somehow a B or C level fighter, I just totally disagree with that. Now, Khabib Alikverdiev is like one of those B level fighters, and Broner beat him. Okay. My point anyway is this: at the end of the day, you cannot be just a B level fighter and be able to beat those names I just mentioned. You have to be something more, and to be an elite fighter of that kind of caliber as Adrien Broner, you need to be B plus level or above. And I think his skill sets speak for themselves, especially when he faced Adrian Granados, Ashley Theophane, who he stopped. Ashley Theophane had never been stopped like that in his career. And it shows that he's above the average excellence of a fighter. He's above average. Now, would I consider him A minus or B level, B plus level? Well, Manny Pacquiao gets hit a lot too. People talking about Adrien Broner's defense. No, Manny Pacquiao gets hit a lot too. That doesn't make him not an A level fighter. Okay, Mika Kota's been stopped before. All of these fighters have had losses. No, that doesn't determine whether you are B or A level. Adrien Broner's defense is not that bad. Okay. So what I will tell you is that Adrien Broner, in my opinion, like Amir Khan, I think he's on the level of Amir Khan and all these guys. If anything, at best he's an A minus level fighter. At worst, he's a B plus level fighter. I think if Broner was to have a fight with Khan, it would be interesting. If Broner was to mix it up with Pacquiao, it would be interesting. I think if Broner was to mix it up with Timothy Bradley, who I'm sure everybody thinks is an A level fighter, it would be an interesting fight, because Broner not only can take a shot like Bradley can, and he's tough and he's strong and he's sharp. He's not as busy, but he's sharp. But Broner also, you match Broner up with anybody at welterweight or at junior welterweight, and he's going to make the fight interesting. What a lot of people get mixed up is that they mix up Broner with Mayweather because he does some of the shoulder roll and stuff like that. Broner's tough. He can take some punches, okay? His defense isn't 100% perfect, and he's still a sharpshooter. He will still sharpshoot you down, but he likes to walk his fighters down. He likes to walk fighters down more than anything else. What some people don't understand is, when you are trying to be aggressive and trying to walk down a fighter, you will get hit with shots. I mean, Mayweather versus Judah is a perfect example. This guy who they're calling the second coming, who's probably going to face Kell Brook, Errol Spence Jr., he gets hit with shots as he's walking down fighters. You're going to get hit with shots. The question is, do you know to make the necessary adjustments so you don't get hit all the way through the fight? And two, that you're landing enough shots so that your opponent may get 1 or 2 shots in on you, but you do much more damage. Okay? When you look at Broner versus Granados, Broner was hitting Granados with the harder, sharper shots. That's just what it is. And there's no way, if Broner was just a B-level fighter, Granados would have run over him. Okay? Because you have all these different people who are like kind of gatekeepers or high-level gatekeepers, which determine what grade you're supposed to get at the end of a day. And Broner passed. And that's why I tell you, Broner is either an A-minus level fighter. He's not an A-level fighter, okay? We kind of recognize that. But he's either an A-minus level fighter or he's a B-plus level fighter. But he ain't no B-level fighter. Okay, for those of the people out there saying he's a B-level fighter, you got to be out of your mind, man. He ain't basic. He ain't basic. This dude has some special effects. He does things. Yes, he doesn't move his feet all the time. It's kind of like saying Danny Garcia. Is Danny Garcia a C-level fighter? Hell no. Is he a B-level fighter? Hell no. Is he a B-plus level fighter? Yes, he is. Danny don't move his feet like how people like, but he slide, he shuffle, right? Broner's quick on his feet, but he don't use it all the time. Canelo Alvarez is quick on his feet, but he don't move the feet all the time. He's not always moving all the time. All right, Alvarez got the upper body movement. Broner got that rock back. Sometimes he pivot a little bit. Sometimes he slide in. Okay. Sometimes he shuffle back. He shuffle forward. Sometimes he slide back, slide forward. Okay. So there's a lot of things Broner do, but in terms of footwork, that is. But you got to understand, he's very tricky. Broner is very, very tricky. He can fight off the ropes. He can fight anywhere in the ring. And it just shows how tricky the dude is. But you have to appreciate the skills Broner brings to the table. He has a lot of boxing skills. A lot of boxing skills. Some of which you guys didn't see when you were watching Adrien Granados, when he made the adjustments to Adrien Granados. So for those people who say he's B-level or C-level, look, man, B-level at best, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. B-plus level? A-minus level? Absolutely. He may be a little too small for another fighter to walk the fighter down. He can't bully the fighter how he wants to. But he can still box the dude if the dude keep coming at him. You know, I love to see Broner versus Peterson. I love to see Broner versus Garcia. Win, lose, or draw. Broner versus Pacquiao. Broner versus Jesse Vargas. Broner versus Timothy Bradley. Broner versus Juan Manuel Marquez. Broner versus Terrence Crawford. Broner versus Victor Postol. Broner versus Lucas Matisse. Broner versus you name it, man. I would love to Ricky Burns. I would love to see him versus Ricky Burns. I love to see him versus all those small welterweights. Devin Alexander versus Broner. You know, all the smallish welterweights. Amir Khan versus Broner. That these guys, they should fight one another. You know, Chris Algieri versus Broner. All of those are great matchups because Broner is not a big welterweight, and he does look to more walk you down. Even though he can box and can move, but he still doesn't. He has a tendency to want to walk a fighter down, then more move around the ring, let the fighter come to him, then counter punch. Even though he does do it at times, but he doesn't move around the ring a lot. Just like Canelo Alvarez, that doesn't make them C-level fighters or B-level fighters. It's just a different way, a different combination, a different style of fighting that they employ. That's all. So I just wanted to leave that with you guys. On that note, I hope you guys have a great one.